Today I am going to show you how once which was a heaven has turned into a hell. The trees you are seeing, beyond that there is a shal forest, my favorite shal forest. This shal forest had an abundance of various natural resources. Once I would say it was teeming with a multitude of animals and plant species. Animals like tiger, cheetah, monkeys, hogs, and the list goes on. But these resources are now in great threat. This forest was formed in the Miocene period of Tertiary era. It was about 2 to 3 crores of years ago, and this forest connects Ghazipur Shal Forest and the Madhupur National Park. Timber felling, fuel wood and bamboo collection of house building materials, hunting, honey and fruits collection, all are posing a great threat to the forest and its biodiversity through bringing both qualitative and quantitative changes to the habitat and wildlife the forest supports. The local poor people and the unemployed laborers are the main resource users. Shockingly, they are extracting these resources at an alarming rate. This tarmac road has zigzagged through this hilly area. It crisscrossed through Shokhipur, Ghachail and Madhupur. When I was a child, I used to play on it and ran along it. Then it was not like this. It was muddy in the rainy season and dusty in the dry season. Indeed, a lot of developments have been done. Now I am taking this narrow twisted path to get to the forest. This road deteriorates and drop into the forest all of a sudden. You can see already this soil. This soil is yellowish red sandy clay. It is mixed with magnesium, iron and conker. In the rainy season, this soil is found soft and muddy, but in the dry season it becomes quite hard. During the rainy season, The soil of the Shal forest, if you would like, is very fertile and suitable for living plants. You can see already a garden out there, Malta garden. Once it was also a forest. The forest is turning into an agricultural land, and these are the exotic plants: eucalyptus, mahogany, etc. Another garden, lemon garden, full of citrus fruits. People around here now cultivates banana like this. Sometimes paddy, pineapple, turmeric, ginger, etc. This is why this land is degrading day by day. There begins the Shal forest, my dream forest. Behind me, I left the cleared part of this forest, which is already filled with these exotic plants like these. You can see the trees are staring at me like silent sentries, as though they are whispering among themselves. It won't be an exaggeration if I tell you that I used to grow up with these trees. I spent a lot of times with them in my childhood. I played with my mates, even with the cattle herders. See the light of the forest plays with the shadows and colors among the trees. Overhanging branches, matted undergrowth, will give you a feeling of thrills. Oh, the road is slippery, quite slippery. I almost tipped over. Back then, during my time, that means my childhood, this forest was more old and antiquated. See the red mud, red soil of the forest. Another patch of cleared forest over there. Shal trees and the cleared part. You can hear the twitter of the yellow bird, locally known as bou kotha kau, calling ki korun go. I saw a while ago a squirrels scampering up the tree, chuck, chuck, chuck. The sun is peeping through the thicker leaves. Once you pass the forest, you come into this glade, evergreen glade, and then the rustle of the dry leaves of the shal forest faints. In the period of monsoon, this glade actually turns into a living channel because of the flash flood. You see, there is a mongoose or weasel. It is not mongoose, it was weasel. Willie has entered into its hole. This is the glade. This glade actually in the rainy season acts as a channel. Water flows through it to the nearest swampland. The swampland I showed in my previous video. This place is so cool and heavenly, but already a lot of damage has been done to it. There is an audible silence in the air. No sounds at all at this moment. Again, the forest has been cleared tremendously. To me, it seems like I myself bleeding because of the identity crisis. You can see some children from this locality are grazing their goats. The children are meek and mild, like their goats. They are really beautiful, as beautiful as this forest is. তোমার নাম কি বাবু? কোন ক্লাসে পড়ো?
ক্লাস 4।
কোন স্কুল?
আমাদের সরকারি।
ও তোমাদের স্কুল এখন বন্ধ করোনার কারণে না? এই কারণে তোমরা ছাগলগুলা করতেছ, ঘাস খাওয়াচ্ছ। তোমার নাম কি বাবু?
রিয়া।
রিয়া। তুমি কোন ক্লাসে পড়ো? 4-এ। তোমার নাম?
সঞ্জিদা।
সঞ্জিদা। তুমি?
1-এ।
You can guess their simplicity, how simple they are, how friendly they are, free and frank they are. Then I would lie down on the edge of this forest like this. I used to lie up until it was midnight. I would listen to the speaking of the forest. Then you could hear a concert of humming, drumming, buzzing and chirping. Frogs, monkeys and birds used to make some of the loudest noise. Some of these had cries that reached up to 130 decibels, which was louder than a military jet. At night, the crickets and the grasshoppers would make chirping sounds, rubbing their wings. Eerie noises, amorous foxes, rutting doves, screeching owls, and even hungry hedgehogs could all add to the cacophony of spooky nighttime sounds. Those days are gone by. Gone by the days I used to play with the springlet and their murmuring sounds you can hear now. Even gone the Mandi ethnic community who used to live in this forest. At the end of this channel, you can still find the traces of their existence. They dug a big pond by the name Shalamtiki. Antiques are still found there. Antiques like burned earthenware, putul, etc. On the other end of this channel, another big pond was dug in the distant past by the name Boali Pukur. They all still bear the signs of ancient life out here. The air inside the forest smells good, but here it is Yaki Pong. The forest land has been encroached upon or taken over for agricultural purpose, or industrial purpose like this. Previously, 80% of the trees used to be the shal, but now the shal forest patches have been exhausted to such great extent that in most places they no more represent the traditional shal forest. If we can take necessary steps like afforestation of the forest, plantation, development of the plants and animal species, creating breeding center to preserve and protect the forest, and to create scope for further study and research, then we can tremendously be benefited from this beloved land.